Warning, do not skip the alignment procedure on aligning the thermostat up. If you do get it wrong, you can and will damage your engine. So we got a 2005 Ford 500. We're going to put a thermostat in it. First, we're going to need to remove this air breather box and this tube here where we can get down there to it. This is a 3.0 engine. Okay, let's disconnect the mass airflow sensor. Just a red tab that you pull up on and then release the connector. Unclip the air box top housing. Remove this here air tube. Remove this one. And then either 8mm, 5/16 or a flat bladed screwdriver and loosen this clamp up back here. Okay, once that's removed, set your air filter aside and then remove this 8mm bolt right here that attaches this bottom lower case part on. Then we're going to pull straight up on this thing. It's probably got a like a rubber attachment on the bottom. I might have to use both hands to do it. Let's see. Got these little tabs here. They go down inside this rubber bushings down in here. Okay, we can get down in here a little better now. The thermostat's going to sit in this housing. It's going to be the lower part of this this bigger housing right here. So it's got 3 bolts, 3 8mm bolts, one here, then one back over here towards the front. We'll just have to use an extension on that one. So let's buzz them 3 out. Okay, you want to use an extension to get down to this one. It's on the back side here. We'll screw it out. And of course, these 2 right here that pretty obvious that you can see. You can't get to every one with the extension. You may want to put a bucket down on the bottom because you are going to lose some antifreeze. Okay, I'm going to try to explain this thermostat. This thermostat has to be aligned a certain way in that housing. It won't go in there and lock into place. It can go in any position, but if you don't have it in the right position, you could cause engine damage. This is a picture of that housing. This picture really should be inverted the other way, but that's the lower hose that hooked onto in the thermostat is right here, and it's going into that top housing part. They're showing it going like this, but when we go to install it, it's going to go up like this, and then the O-ring will go on down here, and then that part right there will come up and bolt to it. But this thermostat's got to be aligned. Let me pull this up here a little bit. I'll put this up here if you want to kind of read it. And what they're saying here, they're saying remove that whole housing to do it, but we can do it without removing that whole housing. And it right here it says, notice thermostat is aligned to the marks inside the upper housing. They must be returned to original location. And they give us a picture of that housing with that thermostat inside. See, going up, like if we was going to go up inside the housing this way, we're going to be holding it up. Well, that's a view of it looking underneath. Okay, this right here part is called a bridge. This part right here that runs across the top that bridge has got to be lined up with these little, it's more like a gap, a space right here, top and bottom. So what we're going to go do is go into this housing. I'm going to find them spaces, retainer marks or whatever it is, and mark it. That way when we go back up with this, it'll be in the right place. Okay, on this housing here, if you got a mirror or something where you can get something like this, it's just a mirror you can get up under here and look. I've got a camera under there to make it a little bit easier for you to see. Okay, on the bottom side, let me find it here. See that little notch there, and then it kind of, then a notch here on it. It's kind of thinner. It's like a thinner side there. That's the that's what they're talking about. There's one on this side over here. This one's a little harder to see, but it is there, right there and right there. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to find out where this this front notch is here on the front, and just come up the center of it, and then put a, like I just put a little red dot right there, right on the side of that housing. And then on the back one, it's pretty much lined up with that back mounting bolt right there. So what I'll end up doing, I'll just go here and I'll put me a little red dot on this bridge, and I'll come up, I'll stick it in, stick my O-ring in. Maybe the O-ring will help hold it in, because it's going to want to fall out on you. So I'm hoping the O-ring will help hold it in while I get it lined up, and then I'll look back under it and spin this thermostat until that bridge, this bridge part, lines up with this dot, red dot that I put on this housing here. That must be aligned up. If it don't, it's going to block this tube here off. It'll block the flow off. Okay, I've got that thermostat set in place, got the O-ring on the bottom, and I'll shine this camera here. My red mark there, there's my red mark on my bridge, and then the other side kind of lines up with that other mounting hole on the back side. Okay, so now that that's in place, you want to be real gentle when setting this lower housing back in place. You get it started up in there real gently so that'll drop out on you, and then once you get it up in place, hold it in place till you get a bolt going in it and kind of tighten, finger tight down. Then you can work on the other two bolts. Probably this one right here is its easiest one to get to. We'll set it up in there, stick a bolt in it, and hand tight it down as far as we can. Okay, on this back bolt, it's hard to get to, but if you just take a magnet, small magnet, and stick it on there like that, you can just drop it in place. Just need to get it in place and pop my magnet off, and then go down with your socket and extension and get it. You don't want to cross thread it, but you want to just get on it and just kind of work it in place and spin it in. All right, that right there is all back together. So all we have to do now is put our air breather stuff back on, our air tube, and then we'll bleed the system, because we're gonna have to purge the air from the system. Okay, so if you have the auto refill thing, you can use it. If you don't, which most people's not gonna have that, we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. We'll remove the cap, and then I'm gonna come over here. See this little plug right here? There's a pin in here to the side. We'll just slide this pin out, just like that. Grab this thing, kind of twist it, and then pull up. And what we're going to do, we're going to start filling this tank up. We're going to kind of keep an eye over here in case it starts running out or anything. But that's what we're going to do first. And what we need to do, we need to get the level of antifreeze in this tank above the height of that where we took the plug out. So we're going to push the air out of the system, and that's where all the air should come out, where that plug is. But we need to get the level on this pretty high. And we'll just keep watching. Over there we see antifreeze coming out, and we'll stick that plug back in. Okay, bear in mind it's going to take a little while for all that to trickle through and start coming out of that plug. Just keep an eye on it. So I can see the antifreeze down inside it right now. So I'll just let it sit there and let it do its job on its own. If I have to, I will, and you see this. If I have to, I'll stick a funnel in here and I'll fill it up through here, which, you know, I may end up having to do that, but I'm just trying to just let it do its own thing here. Just let it bleed naturally. It just takes a while. I mean, it's just a trickle time it makes it through here. And we could even help it. We could speed it up faster. Let's go ahead and do it. Go ahead and speed this process up a little faster. Because it would have to sit here quite a while. Okay, I'm going to pull it out. Now I'll just let it sit there, get my plug ready. And it looks like it's overflowing now, so just stick our plug back in. Stick our pin back in. Okay, now we need to start it up. Okay, what I usually do on this degas bottle system is start the engine up, let it warm up to operating temperatures, and I'll leave my cap off. You do not want to have your head anywhere over here in case it gets a big burst of scalding hot water on you. But I'll leave that off, and that'll kind of, any air that's trapped in the system, will kind of purge back out into this bottle, and then it can escape with the cap off. Yeah, that's the way I do it. Anyway, just let it warm up here. Keep an eye on our level. Like I said, don't get burnt. You could put your cap on it and try it that way. If you wanted to, you may be all right. This is the way I've always done it. So that's the way I'm going to do this one.